Hey there everyone, welcome back to another Game Vault video. As always, I'm Captain Beefy with the Game Vault, and we're going to talk about gaming journalists and my thoughts on why they hate us so much. And when I say us, I mean you and me, the common gamer, the person who is looking for information when we go to their websites about upcoming releases, whatever the case may be. Why do they hate us? I have some thoughts on that. So let's cue up the music, and we'll get right into it. All right, before we get into this subject, I would like to talk about really quickly. It looks like Kotaku fired 4 people today from their staff. And I know we've talked quite a bit about Kotaku here and Alyssa Mercante, who has been very vocal regarding all the nonsense around DEI in games and the whole Stellar Blade controversy and all that. She's been at war with Grum. She's been contacting people's family on Facebook. She's an absolute unhinged maniac who she can't get fired quick enough, and hopefully when she does, she just disappears off the face of the earth and we never have to look at her disgusting face or listen to her just vile words ever again. I'd be happy if that happens. Go back to prostitution or whatever it is, that you did before you became a games journalist. You went from sucking on the D to just plain sucking in life in your career choices. At least you got something out of the other one. This one, I don't know what you get, but you're awful Can't wait to see you gone. But let's talk about this. So I've noticed a big trend over the last 10 15 years roughly, where journalists of all sorts, and I'm not talking about just gaming, I'm talking about your standard journalists, sports journalists, everybody is changing, and journalism isn't what it used to be. Like, journalism used to report on things. You used to be able to go to a games website or a games magazine. Like, you used to get your game, was it Game Informer or something back in the day? And read it, and it would talk about a new game coming out, new Metal Gear King coming out from, Konami. And it would tell you some stuff about it and all that. And you'd be like, oh, wow, can't wait till the next issue. They hopefully will have some more stuff on it next month. And that's how we got our news back in the day, through these magazines and all that, long before the internet, And it was like that with everything. It was like that with music, If you had, what were some of those old rock and roll Circus, the old heavy metal magazines, Oh, new Guns N' Roses album coming out. Oh, this is happening, that's happening. So-and-so's leaving this band, and they've got this guy coming instead. And, it was real journalism. And nobody talked about, oh, good riddance to David Lee Roth from Van Halen because he was a big supporter of Ronald Reagan. And I'm not saying he wasn't, but I'm just putting modern spin on the way things used to be, That's what we see today. It's absolutely ridiculous. Everybody has to put their political spin on things. Everybody has to conflate things, and it's absolutely insane, and it's absolutely stupid, and quite frankly, it's frustrating. If I want politics, I'll go to politics. I will go watch a political channel on YouTube. I will go and check out some of the guys that I like to listen to, and unlike, most liberals, I go to the opposite side of the field too, and I'll listen to some of these more left-leaning pundits because I want to know what the opposition's talking about. I want to know what they're thinking. I want to know what they're doing. And I'm not going to learn that just listening to guys on quote-unquote my team, right? That's not going to happen. So, yeah, that's that. I don't want politics when I'm talking about video games. I don't care. I don't care what you think about this or that politically or culturally. And culture and politics are so tightly wound together, more so now than ever in history, I believe. They are just hand in hand constantly. And I blame social media for that. If you look at the trend, it's been since the advent of social media that this has happened. People are able to go online and they're able to scream out into the void, I feel this way about something, and some other idiot out there is going to be like, me too. And then there's going to be a third one, so am I. Oh my gosh, I feel this way as well. And then the next thing you know, you got people dressing up like cats, taking craps in litter boxes at school and everybody's celebrating it because diversity and weirdness, and I don't know why. I mean, it's absolutely retarded, you know. And yeah, I know that's a bad word to use too, but there's no other way. And I'm not denigrating on people with mental handicaps here. I'm talking about these people are just retarded, you know, absolutely retarded. So journalists back in the day had a job, right? They would get us the news, whether it was on television at night, your local anchors, your national anchors with CNN. You know, I think they were the original 24/7 news company, and I kind of remember when that came out. I think it was in the 80s. I'd like to say, yeah, early to mid 80s. I think it was somewhere around the time that Ronald Reagan, they had a attempted assassination on him, because I remember seeing them constantly airing that clip, but it was everywhere at that time. But yeah, they had a job, and that job's no longer important. With the advent of the internet and social media and all of these different platforms that exist, we no longer need journalists, and they know it. So these idiots have spent all this money to go to their schools and to take whatever courses in communication and journalism and all that. They go work for these big companies, and these big companies are beholden to their investors, and these investors have certain beliefs and all that. And these guys are, you know, I'd like to say some of them maybe don't believe what they're saying, you know, maybe. But I think most of them just are there to collect a paycheck and just nod their head, and they'll, you know, whatever line you feed them, they're like Ron Burgundy from Anchorman, they'll just say it. You know, you put it on the teleprompter and they'll just say it. Or you tell them tonight's story is this, and you got to spin it this way, and they're going to do it just to collect their paycheck because they're too dumb to question it, and they don't care. You know, they're apathetic. So we don't need these people anymore. We don't need people like Alyssa Mercante or anybody at Kotaku and all that. You know, you've got guys out there, and I'm just the smallest fish in a huge ocean full of people that do what I do. But there are guys out there that are on top of the news constantly, guys with insider connections with different companies and all that, that you'll constantly see little leaks come out from them, blurbs, hints, stuff like that. You got guys out there reporting on the news and of what's going on, you know, constantly. You've got people creating guides, you've got people doing, you know, showing you where to find things and all this other stuff, how to build computers, how to set up this stuff. So everybody now is on equal footing with these schmucks, right? We're all on equal footing. Nobody is better than your average guy on YouTube or whatever. And I think that really aggravates them because they're seeing, you know, some of these people getting huge amounts of engagement, right? They're making tons of money. They're working out of their homes, in their own little studio, in their house, in the comfort of their own home, with their wife and kids in the other room. They take a break when they want to take a break. They're eating and sleeping in that same house, whatever. And they're enjoying life, and they're doing what they're doing. And I think that really frustrates a lot of these people because these guys are having to slog it out. And, you know, we saw after the pandemic how everybody cried about having to go back to work and how working from home was no longer a thing. And everybody cried about it and bitched about how unfair it was and all that. Give me a break. You know, I mean, if you don't like that, then go start your own YouTube channel. I'd love to see Alyssa Mercante start one up just to see how horrible she would get treated by people, you know, because she's such a dipshit and she's just an awful human being. I would love to see it. You know, the dislikes would be through the roof. The comment section would be pure gold, and I guarantee you comments would be turned off constantly. And she'd probably make it about 3 months before she shut the whole thing down and just wandered away and did something else, you know. But hey, you know, I'm just, you know, that's just me. That's just me guessing out there. But yeah, so Kotaku, 4 people laid off today. You know what I call that? A good start. Again, I hate people losing jobs in this industry, but I tell you what, when it's the right people losing their jobs, it's not a bad thing, you know. And I'm hoping that these 4 people will have a wake-up call and say, my God, maybe I shouldn't be such a douchebag, and maybe I shouldn't, you know, try to force my opinion on things that have nothing to do with gaming on the gaming community. And maybe I'll be treated better. Maybe I'll get a better job. Maybe I'll make some money. You know, maybe I can freelance on my own. Maybe I can start something new and be a part of that, you know, or find something new starting up and become a part of that. Wouldn't that be wonderful? This industry needs a new source of information, and one that can like bring things together instead of having to get it all over the place and this YouTuber, that guy on Twitter and all that, but a place where somebody can bring it all together and create a unified spot to get news, you know. And you know, you credit the initial people, whether it was Grums on X, you know, talking about it, or if it was, you know, one of the guys on YouTube, one of the many guys that does news, like Endymion on YouTube, whatever the case may be. It would be great to have a place where all that stuff can be assembled, put together, and put in a place where you can just read through it all and enjoy it, and not have to sift through garbage like there wasn't enough black representation in a game that was set in Norway in 1712. Yeah, okay. Sorry, you know. Anyways, let me know what you think down below in the comments. Do you think it's time? Do you think the iron's hot right now and someone should strike and create that new source of information? I do. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Don't forget to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and ring that bell for notifications. I will see you guys next time. Until then, peace.